So just keeping within the whole dark, bleak storytelling and characterization. Now we're gonna get to a movie that is gonna get a lot of Oscar buzz within the this and next month. A movie that I was excited to see as well. Just given the reception it got, had a lot of it was made it to a lot of top 10 lists as well. Unfortunately, didn't make it to mine, and
Right.
you know, this is Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, didn't get a chance to see this, but was really hyped too. I'll probably make the effort to go and see it when I get a chance.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be coming out in theaters actually early next month. Well, I think in Caribbean Cinemas 8. I'm not too sure
Okay, no
about
problem.
Movie Town at the moment. And personally, I wouldn't mind seeing it again, just not just to see it on a big screen, but to get the audience reaction, which I'll get to in a bit. So, it's written, produced, and directed by Martin McDonagh.
Right.
He directed films. Well, actually, I only saw one film from him prior to this movie here, Seven Psychopaths.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay.
Which I thought was entertaining.
Yeah, I saw
as
that.
hell.
That
It
was
fun.
that was great. Yeah, that was
Very
pretty good.
very subversive as well, though. It was
Yeah.
not what I expected to be at all. But one movie that I've been meaning to see for the longest while, unfortunately, I didn't get to see it. In Bruges, like I've been hearing a lot of great things about
No,
that movie.
in Bruges is
In Bruges,
excellent.
sorry,
Right?
in Bruges, yeah.
In Bruges, yeah, in Bruges is pretty good.
I
But
know I
some
want to
psychopath.
see, but I just never get around to it.
Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Both films are great. Okay, so it's in the same vein as that then. All right.
Yeah, it's that kind of black comedy thing. I realize
Right.
because that's something that he does very, very, very well. And for me,
Right.
it does have certain similarities with Hello High Water, especially with the way how America, at least in this case here, in this rural area of Missouri, is portrayed here. But anyway, so the story revolves around the character of Mildred Hayes, who is played excellently by Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
She is a divorced mother. She lives with a son at the moment, who is played by let me see if I get the name, by Lucas Hedges. Last time I saw him was in Manchester by the Sea.
Right.
Yeah, his character kind of rubbed me off the wrong way just because of the acting. Like he wasn't perfect in that show, and he kind of wasn't perfect here. But I'll talk about that in a bit. So yeah, her ex husband actually like left and ran off with some younger chick, basically.
Yeah.
But this was right after, or at least a couple of weeks or so after, or sorry, or at least a month or so after the rape and murder of their daughter. We don't see the event, but we see one particular event. This is a slight spoiler. One particular event is just basically an argument between the daughter and the mother before she basically runs away, just leaves the house.
Right.
So when we introduce to Mildred, she well basically this rape murder, or at least according to her, she was raped while dying basically, which is like really fucked up when you think about it. So
Right.
this case has gone unsolved for months, basically for about 8 months I think it is. And Mildred is just fed up. She wants to do something, so she comes up with this idea. She notices these three basically these billboards on this road basically in Ebbing that has not been used for a long while, and she comes up with the idea and says, well, you know what, I'm gonna put these billboards to good use. But what I'm
Right.
gonna do in the process is I'm actually gonna make out somebody, and the person she's gonna make out is the character of Bill Willoughby. He's the sheriff of Ebbing, and he is played by Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
So in those three billboards, she basically saying, well, yeah, my daughter was raped while dying, and Sheriff Bill Willoughby didn't do anything, and it's been all these months has passed and nothing has happened. So Bill, what's going on, right? So she does the job. She puts up these billboards. Of course, she gets assistance. Of course, this pisses off Bill. Bill is like, what the fuck going on here and all that kind of stuff, right? Rightfully so. He has his own little backstory as well. He has a wife who's played by Abby Cornish. He has two daughters as well, and he also has pancreatic cancer. Sorry, it's
Oh, wow.
revealed
Okay.
early on in the film. So yeah, he is slowly dying as well, and he's trying to deal with the situation as well. Also helping out Bill is the character of Jason Dixon, who is played by Sam Rockwell. And
Right.
he basically is one of the film's most despicable characters. He is a racist, he's a bigot, he curses a lot, And in terms of this case, it's just like, well, you know what, we did we best, but you know what, we can't really do anything. So just learn to live on. Just move on with your life. But Mildred is not gonna take that. She's not gonna take no for an answer. She wants the police to do something, but they all coming off as just inept and just unable to do anything because
Yeah.
going the bill is like, well, the person probably skipped town or probably left the country, and we searched, but we couldn't find anything. And so it's just like, well, that's not enough. I want you to keep on searching. I want to know who raped and killed my daughter, Dread. And
Yeah.
basically, that's just the surface level of what this show is about. But it goes deeper into the way how these characters react to this. Like, for one thing, especially this is true today, where we have cases like that happen, and then because
Right.
it goes unresolved, we tend to forget about it. Perfect example of this, 2 years ago, actually, just a little segue. This Japanese girl who came down in Trinidad to play for
Right.
Carnival, and
Yeah.
in Carnival Tuesday, apparently she was raped and she was murdered as well, and that case apparently is
Was never-
unsolved up to this day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's just really sad to hear things like that. So, but from the perspective of the townspeople themselves, and I like how the show really addresses that. People just want to kind of move on from that. They don't want that dark cloud hovering over them. But then you have Mildred bringing it up again, whether it's through a news report or whether she goes to the whether she talks to somebody about it, or whether she goes to the precinct directly and asking them, well, what the hell going on? What are they doing? You know, and it's just bringing that up again, and some people just don't like that, and I like how the film really addresses that. I don't want to spoil anything else beyond that, so let me just jump into actual review. So let me just talk about the acting for one thing. Francis McDormand, who, like, I'm not too familiar with the entirety of a filmography, but this is hands down one of the best performances I've ever seen from her. This is probably one of the best performances I've seen from a movie from 2017 period. I am rooted for her at the moment to win Best Actress for this, because I thought that she just knocked it out of the park here. She was so relatable, she was so real, but at the same time, she wasn't that sympathetic neither. She did despicable things, she talked despicable as well, you know what I mean? And this is one thing that I really praise, Martin and the script for. In presenting characters as being gray, they weren't black or white. It wasn't like he's a good guy, he's a bad guy. They
Yeah.
all had flaws about them, even right down to Woody Harrelson as well. They say and do things which it's like, come on, man. All they really thought about what it is, or they just say there. Because oftentimes they might say something racist, or they might say something, some bigotry, some bigotry laced statement or some kind of thing sooner. And in your
Yeah.
head, you ask yourself, well, have a little filter, man. Like, come on, are they gonna just really say that? You know what I mean? And because of what they say, and sometimes with the things that they do, you end up kind of despising these characters for a while. But then something else would happen, and then you really see the humanity. That's you see the emotion deep down inside these characters. So they're not bad characters per se, even though they do and say bad things. Perfect example of this is Sam Rockwell, who, well, in terms of best supported actor, I'm definitely seeing this guy. Well, if he wins, I'll be glad, but I definitely see this guy getting an Oscar nomination for this. Sam Rockwell is another actor who I haven't been following the majority of his work as well. But I know
Yeah.
he's a great
I'm
actor.
actually a big fan of the guy.
Right.
I've loved him since the first Charlie's Angels movie. He was the villain in that.
Oh, right. Oh, yes, he
Right.
was. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about
And
that.
well, was the big notice thing about him is that he has this crazy dance that he does all the time. So he did this crazy, like, kind of James Brown style, dancing with his
Right.
feet.
Yeah.
He did that in Iron Man 2 when he played Justin Hammer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's where he was from.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And
It's pretty funny in
as,
that.
as you mentioned that, sorry there, as you mentioned
And he was
that.
in one of my favorite sci-fi's, Moon.
Oh, Moon, yes, he was in Moon.
Yeah.
You see, like, I need to remind myself of this guy's work, but yeah, there is a musical sequence. All right, well, I would say that is the way how they use music, right? So it's just basically a song that's being played, and this is a perfect example of the black humor in this film, right? So
Right.
something bad happened, right? And behind Sam, you're seeing characters react to the situation. But he's like completely oblivious to it because he just listened to this song and the way how he's moving his head and smiling really goofily to the song now, while everybody else around him is reacting to this situation that he knows nothing about it at the moment. Was really funny to me now. And then the consequence
Right.
of that, dark as it was kind of funny as well. And I love how the film really blends the whole dark comedy and really gripping, powerful drama and, violence as well, And it just kind of plays off like it could just happen at any second. This is one
Yeah.
thing that I really praise this film for was its unpredictability. You thinking that this show is gonna go one way, it's gonna be this mother's struggle to find out the truth about who killed the daughter, but then it goes in another part, you know what I mean, and other
Right.
parts, and characters do things that I'm not gonna reveal any of these, but will catch you completely off guard. Woody does something that catch you off guard. Sam Rockwell does something completely off guard as well. Even right
Right.
down to Franz McDormand, it's just the unpredictability of the characters and what they do and what they say will, and it just makes it so fresh. It makes it so engaging as well. Um,
Right.
while I will admit there were a couple of moments I kind of slowed down, especially in the third act, I just loved
Okay.
how unpredictable it was. I loved how these characters were fleshed out as well. And like I say, they say and do things that will just make you be like, nah, boy, really? And I'm supposed to relate to you. I'm supposed to connect with you. But then when really emotional things happen to these characters, you do
Yeah.
feel sorry for them. You do feel for them as well. Um, the supporting cast was great as well. Well, I mean, Lucas Hedges, while I'm not a big fan of him, he does his best playing the son of Francis McDormand's character, and he's
Okay.
more or less
Right.
playing like, well, yes, mom, we know what happened, but you have to kind of move on. You're gonna keep playing this. Come on, he's just that character basically. We even have, believe it or not, freaking Peter Dinklage is in this movie. Peter
Okay.
Dinklage, yeah. And
Okay.
they give him something to do as well. He's not just the arbitrary, little guy in the film. And yes,
Right.
they do use derogatory terms, like they call him midget as well. And like in my head, I tell myself, but it's 2017 now. Like, isn't that politically incorrect to say things like that? The film plays off of that. Like, it's 2017, but characters do say politically incorrect stuff. They use a lot of
Right.
derogatory terms as well. Not too much, right? But to the point, like, it's like, are they not like in a time bubble or some kind of thing? So they even move on, or they just that ignorant that, or they just
It's
don't
Missouri,
care.
right?
Sorry.
It's Missouri. So.
Well, you say it is Missouri. I don't know how Missouri is. I don't know if these characters like that, but
If I remember correctly, Missouri is pretty red. It's a red state. It's
yeah,
a little
it's
conservative.
red. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love the script for this. It reminds me a lot of Hello High Water. This idea of like
Right.
these like America, but more or less like a dying section of America where they're
Yeah.
holding on to these old archaic ideals and beliefs. But it's just like once again we're in 2017 here. Well, at least in the case of this movie, those kind of things don't
It's the
fly
current-
anymore. Like the way how whites look at black people, for example. That's one not a major theme in the film, but there are a couple of characters who do drop the N word as well, and it's kind of like,
Right.
well, come on, why are you still holding on to this? You know what I mean? But it's because these characters just believe in this thing, and they're just so ignorant, they just don't want to change. So it reminds me a lot of it reminds me a lot like characters from Hello High Water as well, and also in a way how the idea of crime now and how characters react to these things as well. It's not just, oh well, it's just a murder that's just unresolved. It's
Right.
why it's unresolved and what is being done and why isn't anything being done about that. And I love those topics as well. But yeah, I thought that the script for this was so well written.
Right.
I'm honestly rooted for this to win Best Original Screenplay as well. I think this is just so well written. This reminds me a lot of Hello High Water as well. Just to reference that
Right.
movie again, which was the film that I was rooting for to win Best Original Screenplay, but fortunately it didn't win. Say what, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, but this does deserve the praise. It does deserve the hype. I would say in terms of drawback, apart from the slow pace nearing the end of the second act and stuff, I felt that the ending, while it was ambiguous, it kind of just stops. Like the story just kind of stops, and it's just like, well, these characters reach this realization, something's gonna happen here. They're gonna do something, and it just ends. But
Okay.
I'm not expecting to see the outcome of that. But because you're used to these sort of mystery films or these mysteries based off of murders, murder mystery, you're kind of hoping to see, oh, these are the guys who did the job, or
Right.
who killed the person. But it doesn't end like that, it's not that type of film. And the way how the movie ends is just like, well, I kind of wanted a better resolution. I wanted some more closure. Like, I get what it means in terms of the characters involved in the end, but still, you could have shown me a little bit more. It just kind of ends. Not abruptly, but just kind of stops, really. Like, almost like the
Right.
film just didn't have anywhere else to go. It's like, well, we had to stop now, so they show credits and done, right? But
Right. Right.
other than that, though, this is a great film. This would have been in, like, if this was in my top 10, this probably would have beaten out Detroit, which was number 10 for me.
Okay.
This would have been number
Okay.
10 in my opinion. But yeah, just because of the strong performances, especially from Francis McDormand, Woody Harrelson as well. It's a shame that he wouldn't be nominated for anything, but I thought that his performance was great as well. But then again, it's Woody, so he always kills it with his performances.
Okay.
Sam Rockwell as well
the
was
only
great.
Yeah, the
And-
only thing I know about the movie is that it getting a little bit of blowback because it's the quote unquote some people putting it or framing it as the white Black Lives Matter movie,
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, in a way,
Okay.
but not too much. And it's like once again, it's not so much about the crime itself, but it's how the people around it reacted, and that's another thing that caught me off guard. Like, I thought it was just going to be some murder mystery, some Fargo kind of thing, but no, it's really about
Right.
how these people react to the situation. And also amazing too is it wasn't just about Mildred. It was about Woody Harrelson's character. It was about Sam Rockwell's character. There are certain things that happened in this film that caught me completely off guard, and there are moments that genuinely will make you laugh your ass off. But it's those kind of like humor that you'll laugh at and be like, wait, I really did laugh at that. Jeez, way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's a statement being said or just some act that takes place. But once again, like I said, performances were strong. The script was solid. Just the ending, I felt could have been just could have added a little bit more. But other than that, though, this lives up to the hype. This lives up to the praise. This is gonna win an Oscar for sure, whether it's for Best Actress or whether it's for Best Supporting Actor, or hopefully Best Original Screenplay. So for me, this gets a strong 4 to 5 for me, man. This is definitely one to check out in cinema. For me, I want to see when it comes out in theaters because I want to see how the audience reacts to this dark, bleak humor, and it's just so sharp and so smart, especially the way how the characters interact with each other. Just so razor sharp to the way how they bounce back insult after insult, and no audiences are gonna laugh at while these moments are playing out, but it's the emotion, the deep emotion that's going on, not just in the story and in the world of this story, but just in the characters themselves. Really make you feel for these characters, you know what I mean? And I love that about the movie. So yeah, strong 4 to 5 stars for me. This would have been number top 10. This would have been number 10 for me. But yeah, man, this is gonna win an Oscar for sure. And yeah, I would straight out say this. Had I seen this in 2017, this would have made it in my top 10 list for sure. But this is definitely one of the best movies of 2017. So don't miss 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Nice, man.
All right, and last but not least, as we still on 2017 here, I know we in 2018, another movie that's been getting a lot of praise, a lot of buzz, and well, Oscar buzz, I would say, and has been showing up in a lot of top 10 lists. And for me personally, I wanted to see this show in 2017. I wanted to add this film to the list so bad because I just how bad I wanted to see it. Of course, I'm talking about The Disaster Artist. So, for those who don't know, this is a biography / comedy / drama. It's based off of the book of the same name, which is a book that actually I'm now starting to read, actually, believe it or not, and it's going really, really great. It's written by the guy that it's written
Greg
by
Sestero.
Greg Sestero, whose character is also portrayed in this film by James's brother himself,
Dave
Dave Franco. And James Franco himself plays the man, the icon, the legend, Tommy WIseau, who is the director, the writer, the producer of probably one of the most infamous bad movies ever made, almost to the point that you could say it's a masterpiece. 2003's The Room.
Right.
You know, this was like, just talking about the room for a bit. This was one that unfortunately I saw for the first time by myself, but I was just in disbelief of what I saw. Like, I didn't see
Yeah.
it when they had that legendary 24-hour run on Adult Swim. I didn't see it at that time,
Right.
but I saw it on YouTube. Somebody put a copy of it on YouTube and I watched it, and I was just laughing my ass off, Jed. I
Yeah.
just
Well,
enjoyed
for
it.
me, I never got caught up in this whole, making fun of the room kind of thing. And well, I was never into the whole making fun of bad films thing anyway.
Oh,
But
okay. I kind
it's
of
one
have
of
a
those.
penchant for watching bad movies and laughing at them. It's just something that I do.
Right. That's a part of film culture I never really get into, frankly.
Okay.
But in the case of the room, it was hard to escape that if you're even marginally familiar with movies.
Yeah,
You must
exactly.
be aware.
Whether it's a film buff or not, you would
Right.
have heard of or seen a meme of or a gif
Yeah.
of.
And
of the
then,
room.
in the case, it have many funnier, better bad movies out there for me personally. Like, which movie it was by, which movie has Garbage Day in it?
Oh gosh, Silent Night,
Troll
Deadly
2?
Night 2.
Yeah, I think so. One of
Yeah,
those.
it's that.
Like,
It's
but
Silent
they're
Night,
not
Deadly Night
dumb.
Part 2, which I haven't seen.
Right.
But I heard that was some bullshit, but I do
Yeah.
want to see it. I do want to see it.
Right, but even amongst bad films, I never really got into the room that much. Like, I never consider it. Yeah, it's bad, but not that funny. Like, it's kind of a bit of a mystery of why this particular bad movie, like, explode the way it did.
Right.
But I think it's because of the nature of WIseau himself.
Yeah. I think it's because, like, and this is a testament to how popular it is to this very day. It's because
Yeah.
you could look at it and you could be like, oh gosh, the man was trying to do Tennessee Williams. Oh Lord, like, look,
Yeah.
he's trying to be dramatic here. Look, and it's, you're tearing me apart, Lisa. But you
Yeah,
laugh
yeah,
at it.
well,
But then when you look back,
yeah.
it's like, you could tell the man just trying. He trying
Yeah, the James,
so
yeah.
hard, boy. He's so
The
hard.
thing with it, okay, so from what I understand, they didn't really cover. I didn't read the book, but I don't think they covered much. They missed out big chunks of the book and some of the better parts of the book, from what I understand.
Yeah, I actually heard that as well, and this is like one
Yeah.
flaw that I had with the movie. Not because I didn't
Right.
read the book, but it oftentimes feel like there are integral things to the relationship between Tommy WIseau and Greg Sestero and
Right.
the making of the room that were taken out because of time. But I will jump into that once I get into my thoughts on the film. But that's a close off on the room here. But really, the best way to enjoy this film was is basically with friends, and
Right.
fortunately we got that opportunity with our fellow critic friends of the 3D
Yeah,
Critics
yeah.
League. You know, we had one of our first bad movie line that we had. We watched Manos the Hand of Fate, which
Yeah,
is a pretty really terrible movie, but we followed that up with the room and we just had a blast with it. I remember you were just on your phone for the majority of the show.
No, because
like, you just didn't give a
that's
shit
the thing.
at all.
I couldn't tolerate like a show like The Room. Like, I watched it twice before,
Right.
and it's like I could barely tolerate this because it not really and truly it's more a sad tolerance. Because I'll say, okay, so this is my thing on Tommy WIseau. He is just the manifestation of a really goddamn pathological system.
Or
It's kind of like,
you mean like the hack then? The person who
Right,
assumes
the nature of the hack, and
he's
it's
destined
the
to
nature
be
of-
a great director, but
yeah, so
he's
it's
doing
yeah,
shit,
it's
but
just
like
culmination.
nobody want to call him out on it. I see
Yeah,
what you mean. Yeah.
He's just the perfect storm of a person. So he just happened to have enough money to make this. He have the worst type of personality to be in Hollywood. He exploit people in a very insidious way, in the sense of, well, it had a bunch of people who just needed work.
Yeah.
And
Which is why they were
willing
in the
to-
movie in the first place. You could
Yeah,
tell
willing
they
to
needed
tolerate
work.
his bullshit and his
Yeah.
nonsense, and him being a complete mental patient. And just the idea of him just being, I would argue, just borderline dishonest and just straight up disingenuous, in the sense that, yeah, you don't know anything about him, man. Like, all the information about him, yeah, it's quite easy to do a lot of research on him. Like, where did he come from? The movie acts as if he's this big mysterious person. No, we know where he comes from. It's Poland. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's out there. How old is he? Well, at the time of the making the film, he would have been in his mid to late 40s, because he's 60 now.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I was assuming he was in his 30s when he made that movie.
Nope.
Okay.
The man is like
Well,
just
look
in
at
mid
that.
40s.
Yeah.
What else? Well, it's still unclear where he get the money from.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's shocking how everybody that's, this kind of weird emperor's no clothes type scenario just play itself out in the worst.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Just
But I
wasted
think
every time.
I think the key to it, the real reason why people kind of like really fall in love with the show, to say least, is because of Tommy's decision to put himself in front of the camera. Because yes, he was the lead in the film. I think it's because he put himself in out there. That's why people kind of not sympathize with the show, but kind of let's like give it the whole cult classic status that it has.
He's such a crazy person because the thing is,
and
he's so
in amazement of him trying to act that it just like it has a charm to it basically. So
right. But no, so let's talking about Tommy WIseau, and then I'm gonna get into the film itself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
One of the things is that Tommy WIseau, he's so transparently from Eastern Europe.
Of course.
And nobody like asking that question like, okay, where you really from? Nobody drill him. Like, how come somebody like that could slip through the system without this information passing through now?
Right.
Nobody like how it is this guy making money? How it is he doing things? How he doing these things and getting away with this bullshit now?
Yeah.
And it's so ridiculous now. That is the whole thing with it. Right. In case of The Room itself, movie is terrible, of course.
Of course, yeah. But it has some genuine laughs. But I would admit it's not a show that I could go back to every year.
I can't keep watching it over.
This is not a Christmas story for me. Like I have to be in a mood to watch it, and I have to be with company. I can't watch this by myself unless
it's one of those,
I generally bored or something.
I don't know. It's one of those. I hate using this term, but you know what you call basic bitch. You know, it's one of those basic shows. Like, oh, well, this is so counterculturally funny and hilarious. And like, yeah, it kind of was when it came out, maybe. Right. I never really got into that again. And I'm not a big Nana. Well, I think the official term for it is called Nana, which is films that's so bad it's good kind of thing, like Birdemic and stuff like that. No?
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get into just that whole film culture. It's something that not that funny to me. I suppose it's because of the age of the internet, and I'm a person who just try to look for genuinely good shit anyway. So like, I have so many good things I never see. Why would I waste my time catering to this? It just stopped being funny or cute at a certain point.
Right.
Like I watch it once, I get it. I get why people might find it funny, but it have better shit like that. Like Mystery Science Theater alone just have a ton of shit that is reference.
Yeah.
That's way better than this, and you could do better commentary on. I don't know. I just never get into that. Whatever. As for the film itself, I'll say the film has two big weaknesses. Well, other than missing out stuff from the book, but it have two major weaknesses in my opinion. One, I thought Dave Franco was miscast as Greg Sestero, right? He's shorter than Tommy WIseau, which made no sense. It's like the real Greg Sestero is actually taller than Tommy.
Right.
But he's shorter than...
I didn't really pick up on it. I just was looking at the performances, not so much the
But I think after the film, you saw both of them stand together, and it's like, yeah, well,
yes, that's true.
Greg Sestero clearly taller than Tommy, whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought he was miscast. I thought he didn't really act the role that well. Like I watched, like when they did the comparison stuff, you could have guessed somebody better. Sorry, I don't know.
That's what you mean. Yeah.
Right. And I thought James Franco should not have directed this. He was good as Tommy, but he just didn't fit as directing. It didn't work because he's kind of a bad director. Like, you have a ton of movies and you'll never see. You'll just see them on a list, and all of them is that crap.
I just always associate him as just acting, not directing.
Right. But he really tried to put his hand in it, and he's push creative edge, blah blah blah. He's trying to be this Renaissance man, blah blah blah, and he ended up making it. And I thought he did a decent job playing Tommy.
Yes, definitely.
The film itself had some okay editing. Again, they changed a lot from it, and it didn't pace itself very well. But it had some genuinely funny moments. Again, given that you know who Tommy WIseau is, I suppose it's one of those that you kind of have to be in. It's one of the in-joke things now.
Yeah.
Oh, this from the film, and this movie was so bad, and it's just this weird cultural space that was created because of this bad film, which is fine.
Yeah.
Right? It's not something I judge necessarily. I don't really look down on people who like find it so hilarious and so funny. I just don't find it that funny. Whatever.
Okay.
You do the whole spoon culture stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it didn't really work out in that way because it didn't really do anything that interesting. But it had some great guest stars. Like, okay, so one of the funniest cameos that I didn't expect was Nathan Fielder, if anybody knows who that is. That guy, Nathan Fielder, has a show on Comedy Central called Nathan For You.
I've heard of that show. Yes. Right.
For me, it's one of the funniest goddamn shows Comedy Central ever put out. The show is absolutely hilarious. Now, it'll be pretty awesome if in the new season he actually references this. Because he plays the role of the nerdy guy. And I forget the guy's name in the room.
Was it Ted?
He's the guy who fell down when he was playing football in his suits and the tuxedos.
Oh, Peter. Yes. That was his name, Peter. Right. Yeah.
So he was playing that guy and he was in the room. And then they had him talking to this fellow. Oh gosh, the fellow was in Baywatch.
Who was in what? Sorry?
In Baywatch.
Oh gosh, not Zac Efron. Yes, Zac Efron. Yeah.
Zac Efron had a cameo. Other people was kind of funny in this.
Oh, by the way, on the subject of that, his cameo, Zac Efron, I thought was pretty convincing though. Cause he was playing Chris R, who is like this thug character who just shows up out of the blue in the room. Yeah. And like I was watching the faces, like, wait, that was Zac Efron? Holy shit!
Yeah. It had some decent cameos overall. I'll say.
Bryan Cranston though, that caught me completely off.
Little side part, and it just so unfortunate because he could get a big role and he had to shave.
I was watching the faces like, they just do a little makeup to make him look a little younger. I see what they did here.
Right. Then they did what else? Who else had a cameo in this? Oh well, of course this fellow Seth
was Seth Rogen? Well, I wouldn't say it was a cameo. He had a bigger role to play in the show.
Yeah, he was in the movie. He was pretty good.
But more like Hannibal Buress. I did not expect to see him in it. Jason.
Yeah, the fellow who was in, I forget his name.
Expect to see him in that too.
Yeah, this fella, I forget his name. He had a recurring run in Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently. I think he left the show eventually. He's playing Rosa's boyfriend or fiancé.
Well, the year now started. I've been meaning to catch up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I don't know who that is.
He was in it. So it had all these great comedy people. The guy who was the bald guy who he threatened the fire, who was shitting in the toilet.
Right.
He was in it. That guy.
Gosh, I was forgetting his name, but
it's not that guy.
Yeah, that guy. You've seen him
in that shows. It's not that guy.
Right.
The girl who played Lisa, she was pretty good. Well, the girl who played Lisa.
Yeah. Right.
She was okay.
Ari Greno, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Then of course, Miguel from Glow was in this, huh?
Yeah, Alison Brie. Did not see that one.
Alison Brie, yeah.
She was Greg's now ex-girlfriend actually.
Right.
Amber. And just like the slight little subplot that they had here, where it's like, Greg have a girlfriend now. I could see it kind of affects Tommy, because they kind of set up this sort of pseudo homoerotic kind of relationship between the two. You know,
right.
Kind of.
They had in the beginning they had a cameo by Megan Mullally, which was hilarious. I didn't expect to see her in this.
Right. She was in the Broadway thing.
She was playing Greg's mom.
Oh, you know who made a cameo as well too? Bob Odenkirk. I was
Bob
like,
Odenkirk was in this,
yeah, he in this too. Wow, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was
but
great.
He had a problem with this, right? They couldn't decide, like, it had a mixed feel of the whole thing. Because you couldn't tell if they wanted to make it where they need to laugh at Tommy or endear him at the same time or try to do both. But they didn't balance it very well, regardless of whatever they tried. So in the beginning, they had this unnecessary sequence where it's saying, "Oh, Tommy WIseau is this great director," and so on and so on. It's like, why even put that?
They could have left out. They could have left.
Yeah, they could have cut that shit. Like, what's the point of that? Like, I didn't get,
like he is not an inspiration for comedic actors like you.
Exactly. Anyway, so it didn't really work or flow. I didn't get what was the point of the joke now. You know, it was kind of like, because they tried to do it in the same vein as remember Lonely Island had this parody thing where they was playing a musician back, I think, last year. Never Stop Stopping or something like that.
Stopping, which I heard was ridiculously funny but incredibly dumb at the same time.
But that's the thing. They try to do it in that vein, but like with Tommy WIseau, Tommy WIseau is a real person, so why even reference that? Just do a really disturbing take on Tommy Wiseau's character. Like, the man is just a straight up case study in terms of the worst type of personality and ego in Hollywood. That's the exact problem. Because everything Tommy did is what not to do in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right?
Even right down to the way how he treated the cast and crew. Like, I didn't even know the history behind what was going on behind the scenes, but I was like, jeez, but you don't do that.
Yeah, if you have a budget, like, look, but just from a technical standpoint, he decided to have two cameras to film both film and video. Quite a dumb shit.
And he bought both cameras,
And then he bought them, which is like even
more...
A
film and a digital camera, mind you.
So he decided to buy a camera for a movie, you know. For a single movie. Not to say you're going to try it out or keep it indefinitely or anything like that, you know. Like, you fucking serious?
Yeah.
And he was carrying it wrong.
Yeah.
It was unset. Like, everything you're not supposed to do. So, and everything is, I have a term I call it, and I accuse a lot of local filmmaking as like that. I call it cargo cult filmmaking.
Right.
That's what it is. It's just imitating but not getting what the intrinsic purpose of it was. So when you make that thing, it's just total nonsense because you don't know what you're doing. You're just imitating by what you're seeing on the face, at its face now.
Right.
You're treating it the way you call prima facie now. And that's exactly what this man do on every level. He said, "What this is what Kubrick did, and this is what
Yeah,
Dude,
this is what Hitchcock did. Hitchcock scared his cast to get them to
Right.
get the perfect role. It's like, no, well, not exactly. What the hell are you talking about? You know?
Yeah, that's such nonsense. And it's just he just operating by legend rather than by working reality and practice now.
Yeah.
He has no sense of how to edit. He has no sense about like little simple things. Like remember I was pointing it out when he was watching it, when he was actually watching The Room in the bad movie line. Like how much time the cup move and little stuff on set and thing.
Yeah.
And he just don't have anybody to make it work or flow.
No.
And it's a total mess.
He was probably doing
that's
script supervision anyway, for all I know.
Right. He's just a person that, and I thought the film would have addressed that properly. Like, okay, this is a person you shouldn't really not be like. This is the worst type of person while ignoring sexual harassment, psychopaths. This is the kind of worst type of person to be in Hollywood. This is a person who don't belong in Hollywood, even though he want to make himself a star and whatnot. Yeah, don't have this person around you at all. Like, and the movie does make address it a couple times, like calling him creepy vampire and all that stuff, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty goddamn funny. Like, credit to James Franco, he did play the role quite well in my opinion. He was funny, he got the accent down. Just see the weird, everything about him so weird. Like when he met, I don't know if it's a real person or if it's a thing. When he met the fella in the restaurant. Oh god, that fella. Gosh, who's it been all Seth Rogen movies?
Oh gosh.
Judd Apatow.
Yeah, Judd Apatow. Yeah.
I don't think it was a real Judd Apatow. It was some other guy.
Right.
I don't think Judd Apatow was playing himself, as far as I know. I don't know. But
actually, he was, believe it or not. It was him.
Playing himself?
It was him, yeah.
No, I know, but was he playing himself?
Oh, was he playing himself? I don't know.
Okay. No, it was Judd Apatow, but I don't think he was playing himself. I don't know who he was playing exactly. It could have been just any Hollywood producer that we don't know about now.
Right.
But I haven't read the book, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And overall, the movie suffered a lot for that. I didn't really get into it because of that at the end. Another thing is that the ending was, I don't think the ending was particularly accurate. It wasn't one screening, it was multiple screenings. And he got just a consensus. Like they make it out like everybody's laughing at him in one theater. Nope, it was kind of just more like a stunned silence, if I remember correctly.
Which is always worse, sir. Because like to me, it's either you get boos, you get laughs, because they actually enjoying the film for better or for worse, or you get dead silence, which is a bad sign. Trust me, I do.
Well, the stunned silence is an interesting thing because sometimes the stunned silence could be interesting in its own way. Like, well, the people didn't get it or they didn't like it, but it have in other cases it have the boos. The boos is the worst in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you're right. Actually, you're right.
This
The
movie's
boos.
fucking nonsense.
Especially like if it's in Cannes and stuff like that. When you have big critics and all booing and stuff. It's like
when you get the stunned silence is usually a bad sign. I'll admit it is a big red flag, but it's not necessarily the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Right.
What else?
Well, okay. So my thoughts on the film. I was actually surprised by. Like I get you enjoyed it, but I was actually surprised that you didn't enjoy it as much as all that. Because I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it set out to do. For me, it felt like James Franco really was maybe didn't. I'm not saying like he worships all things Tommy WIseau, but you could tell that he has a respect for him, a respect for what he did. You know, even though the movie came out like garbage, you know, legendarily, but you could tell that just him doing this, him making this film, and getting Tommy to be involved behind the scenes, not just through the book, but just making sure that he got Tommy's mannerisms down, make sure he got the acting down and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You could tell that the man has respect for Tommy, It's not like he was feeling sorry for him, like, oh gosh, you at least you try a thing and patting him back. It's like, the man did something and unexpectedly it became a classic, and this is
for all the weirdest reasons.
For all the weirdest reasons, right? So I felt that the film and James Franco's performance, really brought justice to that. I like the moments, and I expected it like that, but I didn't expect that he himself, that James would have been this douchey, those moments with him on set, though, the way how he was treated his cast and crew, like. I was watching that, I was like, but this is like, what, you're not supposed to do that when you're doing these films. Then you're not supposed to treat your cast and crew like that. And it's not like to the point that I was hating on Tommy for doing that. It's just clearly the man didn't know what he was doing. He just went in with ambition, with blind ambition. I don't know. The funny thing is, I was watching that, and I was telling myself, this is like a little in-joke between both of us. Now I see why it didn't show down here in Trinidad, though. Because some people would watch this show and be like, yeah, that kind of reminds me of that time when I worked on that set. And even I myself personally was watching it. I was like, yeah, that reminds me of that time when I worked on that set.
No, yeah. I'll admit it had a couple moments. I was like, ugh, yeah, this.
Yeah.
I myself
right
like
to the blind ambition. Like, yes, I'm gonna be a superstar.
No, yeah, it's no. That's what I say. He's a case study in that kind of like functional cluelessness.
Yes.
Like you're still wondering how the f this person could function in life. While also trying to make a movie.
You know.
And it's totally absurd. Like you don't get it.
And even right down to his thought process, like, yes, we are going to go to LA. You ask me where we're gonna stay, we're just going to go to LA.
And he does somehow have a place.
We're gonna
like
do
how?
this, we're gonna do all this stuff. Like no thought went it. It's just like,
no,
well,
but
it's America and the city of dreams. And another thing that I kinda like the film for addressing, the character of Tommy himself. Clearly he is like, basically he grew up on like this whole perception of the American dream now. So it's like, well, yes, when you come to America, all your dreams come true, and all this will happen because it's America. And then when you see, like, at the very end, when everybody's watching the film and laughing, like, to me, that was the moment where the reality of that just hit him. Suddenly, like, yeah, maybe this is not what I expected it to be. And I would admit, I really feel for the man, Even though he did bad things, he was real despicable to the cast and crew and everything. And
right.
Just his whole nature and his whole character is real suspect. I still felt sorry for him when those people were laughing at the show.
Right.
But yeah, you were saying.
No, as I said, is the functional cluelessness I don't understand. Like again, you have an apartment in LA. Like again, where you getting all this money from?
Yeah.
Do you ever explain that?
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
but there's other stuff before we get to read it. But I thought that James Franco totally killed it. His introduction though. His introduction alone was Oscar worthy.
It felt a little flat for me, but yeah, it was alright.
Because it was like, and the drum roll now basically, and you're waiting for him to see his face. It's like, yes, here he is. There are a couple of moments where you could tell he was kind of exaggerating the Tommy WIseau character, especially with the "I did not hit" a scene.
I did not, yeah.
It's like I did not. But when it did the comparison,
it looked a little too extra. I thought that's what I'm saying. A better filmmaker should have got on board with this, in my opinion.
Yeah, but what I felt is it was like James Franco trying to add a little, a little exaggeration and trying to be a little bit more comedic then, instead of I'm trying to be Tommy straight out flat, but I'm gonna add a little bit of humor here. I'm gonna exaggerate this a bit. I felt that he did it a little too much there in those scenes, and I mean his mannerisms and all that. Like I wouldn't say I know everything about Tommy WIseau. I didn't read the book, but I thought that he got from what I saw from the movie, The Room itself. I thought that he nailed it as good as it can. It's a good imitation, not perfect, but a good imitation of Tommy WIseau. And for me, I felt that was what the film needed, and he gave that.
Right.
Dave Franco was okay as Greg, like, because, alright, like, I felt that he could have been given a little bit more to do, seeing that he wrote the book. Like, it could have just been his accounts, like, him seeing the whole production of The Room there, but it more felt like it was Tommy's story, not really.
Right. That's what I was saying. That's another thing too. Well, again, because I didn't read the book, I can't really
impacted Dave's performance really.
Well, that's the thing. Because I couldn't get, because I didn't read the book, I don't know what to think about. But in my head, I find the story should have focused on Greg, like a lot, like much more on Tommy now.
Yeah.
But they had to make Tommy the center because it's Tommy, and he's basically this borderline carnival attraction as far as we're concerned now.
Yeah.
He's a modern carnival attraction in many ways, especially even within the domain of Hollywood. He's a very, very strange person. So
yeah, he is definitely.
Go ahead.
Right, well, so also like the side characters. I thought Seth Rogen was great as the script. Well, he was actually script supervisor, believe it or not.
Yeah, he just hilarious.
Yeah, I love how straight he was. He was just like, well, all right, fine, you want to do this? Okay, cool, whatever. I still getting paid, whatever. But
the part of the bank had me cracking up, Joe.
Yeah, boy. He was going in there like, I have a check. Well, hold this there. It's like,
I don't think that it got bugs, eh? Because it's like, this man is a complete bullshit. You can't believe. It's like, where you get anybody from there? That's the part of that I don't understand why anybody fight down there.
Yeah. What else? Oh gosh, the cameos I thought were great as well. Like some people I didn't expect to see in this movie. Judd Apatow for one, Zac Efron for another. Sharon Stone was in this thing.
Right.
For a brief moment, she was playing Greg's agent.
Yeah.
Although her character, or at least what she did, was kind of weird, but to me, it felt like a caricature of, oh, this is how LA producers or agents act. They don't really care about your acting capabilities, just how you look, basically, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
what else? The story, well, at least the pacing, I thought was it was quick, but not too quick, but it was quick enough for you to get the point of certain things. Like, we're not gonna spend a whole hour and a half talking about all the drama that took place behind the scenes of the room. It was just like, okay, this is your favorite moment. You saw what happened here. You get the point, but something else going on behind the scenes. But it adds the story. I like that, but I felt that they kind of rushed through those scenes a little bit. Like, it could have gotten a little bit more room moments. As a matter of fact, I felt that the show itself was a tad bit short. Because this thing clocks in like 103 minutes. I felt this could have been like, if it could have just added like probably 10 more minutes, it would have been a lot better. Not saying that maybe they cut things out like in
Right.
the edit of the film itself, but now that we just basing it off the book now and knowing that there were other important things that happened in the book, maybe they could have just taken two or three of those things and added it to the movie, and they
Right.
had the opportunity, they had the advantage to do that. It just kind of felt like they just rushed it a little too much, though, instead
Right.
of
Yeah.
just
I
let
I
the
have that
story
feeling as
breathe
well.
and let it develop, and just add
Yeah.
a couple more things to make us really get our bodies to it.
Right.
um, the musical choices I thought was great as well. Like, especially, it just kind of set the mood of just being in Hollywood and just hearing songs that you would hear in 2001 or 1999 or whatever it is. Retro, of course, but I felt that it added a lot, not just to the time, the period of the film, but also the idea of Tommy just going into just being in America and thinking it's like this wild party where dreams come true. Now, basically, perfect example of that is when he was dancing that Rhythm of the Night song in the club. I know he just dancing wild and crazy, and everybody else just sorry, Greg and Asbury's character just watching this guy dancing crazy there. But in his head it's just like, well, I just having fun, I just living life because I'm in
Yeah.
America now, And to me, that
Right.
was like the heart of the story there. Just him realizing the American dream, him coming in there, even though maybe he lived in America for years, quote unquote, whatever. But it just kind of came off like, him breaking out into the movies and being this great director. It's like, yes, this is what America's about. It's all about dreams coming true. And then the reality of it all, though, when it comes, not so much crashing down, but when he realizes that, hey, people laughing at this thing for the wrong reasons. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and I appreciated the way how it ended too, where it's like, well, you know, people are still enjoying your film, at the end of the day. As simple as it is. People
Yeah.
are still enjoying your film. And to this day, people are enjoying it. It's like a simple way to kind of, like a neat way to end it, but I thought it worked, though. Especially from an emotional standpoint, because, yeah, there were moments where I was kind of like, nah, boy, Tommy, but I kind of hate you now. Because, like, you don't treat people like that, though, even on and off the set. But still, you could tell that this man generally had a dream. He had a goal. Even right down to Greg as well. Even though I felt they didn't really focus that much on him that much, but both
Yeah.
of them had dreams that you bought into. You want to see them make it, and unfortunately they make it in a bad movie, but they make it, right. So to
Right.
me, that was what the movie was. It just kind of told its story. It didn't overstay its welcome, but I felt that maybe if they just added a few more scenes, we could have gotten a lot more out of it there, not just emotionally but thematically and even humor wise as well too. Because while it was funny as well, it was funny in the sense of, yeah, haha, what went on, the story, what they reference in here, and seeing how characters reacted to how Tommy was moving in those scenes here is just like, well, all right, that's funny right there. um but it wasn't as funny as all that too. It was more kind of dramedy than anything else. But that
Yeah.
didn't really hurt the film for me though. It's just like I said, I felt that it could have been a little bit more given the subject matter, because you painted in broad strokes this character here that you're just giving us 103 minutes for us to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? You could have given us just a little bit more. But I'll say this much before we get into rating. The show did really inspire me to actually go and get the room on Blu-ray now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
Oh.
it kind of romanticizes and glorifies it a bit, but because of the significance of the room though, and because of the show kind of really emphasizing it, I was just like, well, Yeah, I mean nothing wrong because I mean I love my great movies and all that, but nothing wrong if I delve into a little bad stuff every once in a while. So why not? You know what I mean? I could jump on that bandwagon too. You know what I mean? You know,
Right.
just be able to appreciate the film as a movie buff, even though the movie is terrible. You know what I mean? So like, how the show kind of makes you do that. It kind of makes people be like, yeah, you should actually like the room now, you know, even though it's terrible. But yeah, it's kind of nice and endearing at the same time. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. You know. Um, but overall, while I didn't love the show as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish I could have come out and said, yeah, I really, really did love this film. This is another one that could have made my top 10 or maybe, not an honorable mention, but maybe
Yeah.
like in my top 11 to 17, I would have found it there. Not top 5, definitely for sure, but this is one that, you know, I wish I saw sooner. I wish I could enjoy it a lot more. But for what it's worth, yeah, this was still a great movie, in my opinion. A fun, entertaining, and very heartfelt, and dare I say, inspirational movie too. But inspirational, it's not telling just the average schmo to just go out and make a bad movie and you'll be successful. Come on, we know that's not how things will play out today. You know, this is something that happened and probably would never happen again in a hurry. So it's not telling people, hey, just go out and make bad movies and you'll be successful. But it's just seeing the story behind the story, you know, was really
Right.
interesting for me. So I really enjoyed it for that. I thought that, you know, James Franco was committed to it, but I do agree with you. He could have gotten somebody else behind the camera to do the work for him because it felt like he was just doing so much as is there, you know what I mean? And he could have just gotten somebody else to just kind of help him out a bit. But
Right.
still, performances were great. The story was tight. Although I felt it could have been a little bit more in the story, a little bit more meat to the story as well. Performances were great. Direction was decent for the most part. And yeah, James Franco's Tommy WIseau. Yeah, this one gotta get Oscar nom. It's easy pick right here. But if he wins, wow, that would be an achievement both for James and Tommy WIseau when you think about it. You know. So
Right.
rating wise, what would you give this one?
Yeah, well, just a quick run through. I'll say I was a bit disappointed in this one. You see, when you're doing films about films, especially in this kind of recursive fashion, where it's a film and it's like a borderline documentary about the film, so you're not sure. It kind of remembered, those Iranian films that used to do that. Used to
Right,
make the film, then make the documentary, and then make a film about the documentary.
right.
That is what it felt like. You need higher competence for stuff like that, and this really fell short in that sense. I
Okay.
didn't hate this. I didn't, but I didn't love it, and I wanted to love it. I liked it generally. It had its funny moments. It had some genuinely cringy moments, which is falling into the vein of Tommy Wiseau,
Yeah.
because he's
And
just
just those
cringe.
moments with him just
Yeah,
went
he's just
crazy
walking cringe
inside.
anyway.
Yeah, it just how he acted on set, but it's just like for people like us who've worked on sets, well, you know,
Yeah.
for better or for worse, that's something else real pissed off though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I was just a little underwhelmed, but I still like what it was. I'll get this one as low movie tongue, lowish movie tongue. That's how I feel about it. Like
All right,
if it
that's
comes
fair.
down, yeah, if it comes down, don't spend too much money, but it's still really well done. It's something I could see myself seeing in one of those in the VIP section anyway, like and relaxing about.
This actually would be a good gemstone film.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, but yeah, I won't want to spend too much money on this for the most part.
All
So yeah,
right. I would agree with you there. Like I enjoyed it, not as much as all that, but it's not sure that I would spend like, you know, full price on this one.
right,
But this works as a great companion piece to the room. Like I do see myself probably one of these days. I'm not sure when buying both movies. So I'll just watch the room and then I'll watch the making of the room afterwards. Now, you know, as a nice little behind the scenes stuff. You know, basically. But for me, I will give this a lighter, decent 4 to 5 stars. Whilst not
right,
the most whilst not as great as, you know, the subject matter and just the approach the film would suggest it to me, this was still a very heartfelt, very enjoyable, and, you know, fun as well film as well. You know, it didn't take itself too seriously, but you do end up caring for this guy that, you know, at first glance when you see the room or you continue to watch the room, sorry, you'll be like, yeah, this is like the worst acting I've ever seen. These like
yeah,
the worst thing that ever happened in Hollywood. But, you know, when you really get the story now, it's like, okay, right, now I see the appeal, and now I kind of like him, even though he still can't act to save his life. But I get the appeal now. I get it now. So like I say, it works as a great companion piece. So yeah, if you love The Room, then you'll definitely love this movie. If you've never seen The Room, uh, I actually suggest you watch the Room first before you watch this movie, because it would add a lot to your appreciation of the humor in the film. People who haven't seen the Room, I don't think they'll get the jokes all that much, especially
That's
the
the
way how they
problem,
reference
yeah.
it. Yeah. But I don't think it could do anything with that anyway. It just has to be like that.
Right.
But the book itself, like I said, I'm reading it right now. I think it'd be best also too if you read the book. Um, or at least I should say this movie would motivate you to read the book, because I have a feeling that if you read the book, you probably wouldn't enjoy the film that much. You probably wouldn't want to see it. But yeah, just for me wanting to read the book even more now, and for me wanting to own the Room now, says a lot about what makes this movie work. So yeah, light, decent 4 out of 5 seems
Right.
fair to me.
Okay. All right.
All right, so as we normally do before we round things up, Ricardo, where can we find you online?
You could find me Ampersat RMEDY. That is at RMEDY on Twitter, or you could just find me Ricardo Medina on Facebook, and you'll find me right there.
All right, you can also find me on Twitter. Just look for Legally Black MJB, MJB, in capital letters. You can also find me on Facebook. Just look for my name, Matthew Bailey, alongside a Legally Black blog, official fan base, where you find the link to this podcast here, as well as the other 3 seasons that we've done over the past 2 years or so. And on the subject of the stuff that we discussed, feel free to let us know what you thought about the stuff about the movies the movies and TV shows that we've discussed over this episode here. All right, so stuff to look forward to. Well, I haven't seen Proud Mary. I know it have Miguel Taraji Henson in it. Currently, it doesn't have a consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, which worries me a lot. So maybe I'll make the effort to check it out, but probably I'll just go see it as a double feature alongside The Commuter with Liam Neeson, which I hear is a good little matinee flick. That really big or extraordinary, but I'll probably give it a look if anything. Also, in terms of potential Oscar nominees, there's still stuff like Lady Bird, Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, I, Tonya.
Right.
Yeah. So just so much other shows. Oh yes, and who could forget The Shape of Water? This is one that I am so excited to see. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
And
for
also stuff like little smaller films like The Florida Project,
Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread as well. That's one I definitely want to see.
I'm a big hype
because I mean this is Daniel Day-Lewis's final performance, I believe. Apparently, yeah. So yeah.
But Phantom Thread is the one I'm really excited to see. Look, Paul Thomas Anderson is his return to form. It's kind of like with Wes Anderson and the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Right.
He was kind of slipping for a while, and then he just come back so strong. So I'm really excited to see that with Paul Thomas. Paul Thomas Anderson is probably my favorite living director right now. So, I'm just totally hyped for that.
Right, and of course, well, this is next month, of course, but we are definitely going to be checking this out for show. Black Panther.
Yeah, boy.
Have to see that. Hopefully, it'll be opening day, and of course, you can look out for a review of that once we see it.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Matthew Bailey and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from the season premiere, season 4 of BS Beats and Bailey. So until the next one, here's hoping that we have a great season this year. So until the next one, take care. Peace.
Cool.